We'll transmit your thoughts to Alberto Pure.
Well, I think we should try to separate the debates because when you're talking about the manifesto and the whole poetical of the McOndo movement, that all is very questionable and has been said a lot. But trying to keep with the subject of how this relationship with the internet and how they exploit it.
No, I understand that, but I'm reacting to that.
Yeah.
It was shown, right?
I know.
So because this is precisely what you are saying, that internet is helping us to get this information, great, but how do we absorb it?
That's the question.
We are in scholarly gathering,
yes.
And as a teacher, I am particularly interested in clarifying that because I think that our students are misled.
Yes.
Being misled.
Well, and I think that, one of the problems that happens with the internet is that, as I said earlier, that, information can be diffused easily. It's easy to put out information, any kind of information, but it's much more difficult to assess what it means, what the value is, especially when, obviously the authors here are, as they say themselves, they're not communized, they want to sell their books. So they are happy for Borders to put up a big website with, their book in it, but on the other hand, are they, to some extent, as you said, are they selling themselves to the McOndo organization itself? Like if you let your book be presented in this way, which perhaps doesn't reflect the reality, and they may know it, I don't know, but they may know it. Is that a moral, ethical problem? Is that an issue that just for the purpose of selling your book, you're willing to get any information out there about it, put it in any kind of light? And I think the other problem is we don't know how much control the authors themselves have over how these corporations take over a book that can represent something completely different, that speaks for itself, and represent it in the text. And I think the problem of information quality online is one that I agree with you that for our students it may be a problem, but I think it's much more a problem for people that don't know. Because I think our students, we're training them, so hopefully they will, be able to notice the difference. But what about high school students, or what about people that may not, know about it in more depth? That's where I think that the danger lies much more. And this is just one example of how historical information can get completely distorted. It's one small example that, in comparison to other examples, may be minimal, but it sort of shows the impact of it.
And the question I'd like to pose is with regards to the issue of genre. And Theo took the right side, okay, it says essay on top. And so the expectation of anybody reading this particular site would be that we are presented with an essay. And an essay raises certain kinds of expectations. Expectations of perhaps information standards that are included, expectations as to the form, the rhetoric of writing it. So what I'm wondering about is what kind of genres are being used, are being exploited, depending, used first in the primary sense of rhetorical forms, and then exploited in the sense of commercialization of those particular genres, both with regards to the formation of the McOndo movement. You mentioned mostly autobiographical direction novels, but also then within the vlogs, within the criticism, what is about the standard of the review? How does a certain genre expectation form, or different kinds of genres form this movement? Because when we read, at least I do, I usually immediately check out what genre it could be. That's the rhetorical training that we have from kindergarten, in a sense, and then the information gets filtered through that genre expectation. So I don't know anything about the McOndo movement itself, and it was a question.